beautiful human, welcome back to my channel. My name is Khalil, and on this channel we talk travel and lifestyle with a smidge of luxury thrown in. So if that sounds like your vibe, then like and subscribe to see more videos from me. Today we are diving into the art of curating a life of contentment. This is especially important as we embark on this new year. We want to make sure that we're living a life that is both fulfilling and authentic to who we are. So if you are ready to transform your mindset and to embrace a more fulfilling life, then stick around for these practical strategies that are going to make a huge difference. Before we jump into the tips and strategies, go ahead and drop in the comments below one thing that brings you joy. I cannot wait to read about all of these amazing things that you guys do or experience that brings you joy. So drop those in the comments below. Now let's get into the video, and I wanted to give a definition of the word contentment, because this video is not about being happy and frolicking all the time, because that's just not realistic. But I think that with these tips and strategies, you will be able to live a life that you are content with. And so let's figure out, what does it mean to be content? This is a definition that I looked up and it really resonates with me. So it says, contentment refers to a state of satisfaction and happiness with one's current situation, circumstances, and possessions. It involves a sense of fulfillment and acceptance, appreciating what one has rather than constantly seeking more or different things. Contentment is often associated with a peaceful and tranquil state of mind, where individuals are able to find joy in the present moment rather than yearning for external factors to bring them happiness. Now, who does not want to live a life of contentment? Like, that is something that I aspire for on a regular basis, and so I definitely want to share these strategies with you so that you're able to do the same. So the very first strategy, and my personal favorite, is to cultivate gratitude. This is especially important when we think about curating a life of contentment, because when we take the time to intentionally hone in on the things that we're grateful for, it immediately puts us in a space where we have a more positive perspective. And research shows that practicing gratitude on a regular basis improves our overall mental well-being. It can also reduce stress, it improves sleep, and it helps us to build and foster stronger relationships. And so I have been using this strategy pretty much since I turned 40 last year, and that was a really interesting point of life for me, because it seems like when I turned 40, immediately this little voice just like turned on in my head that was trying to tell me that I wasn't in a place where I needed to be at the age of 40. And for a minute, I was just kind of like not in a good space. But when I intentionally made the decision to just reflect on the things that were going well in my life, the things that I did have, and to practice gratitude for those things, it really helped to shift my mindset, and I ended the year on a much more positive note. And one of the tools that I started using is this gratitude journal. Hold on. So I began using a version of this 5-minute journal last year, and I was gifted this copy to start off 2024 strong. And what I really love about this journal is that it really just takes 5 minutes a day to sit down and to list the 3 things that I'm grateful for at the start of the day. It's also great because you're able to talk about what would make the day great and a daily affirmation. Additionally, there is a night routine component where you write down the highlights of the day and the lesson that you learned that day. And I really love this journal. Let me show you what it looks like. And this is by a company called Intelligent Change, and I really just love that I can write everything down in a journal, and at the end of the year everything is housed in one place and I can go back and look at it. And one of my goals this year is to do a daily gratitude jot. So that is the challenge, that's my goal, and so we'll see how I do by the end of 2024. But this is my gratitude journal. Obviously, you do not have to use a gratitude journal such as this. You can jot 3 things down every day in your notebook, in your notes section on your cell phone, in your regular journal if you're a journaler. But the point is that you are taking time to sit down and write out the things that you are grateful for on a daily basis. Strategy number 2 is to practice mindful living. And that means that we're staying present in the moment and avoiding dwelling on the past and things that didn't go well, to ensure that we're able to enjoy the things that are going well and enjoy the life that we're living. So mindful living is crucial for living a fulfilling life because it reduces stress. It helps us to cultivate stronger relationships because we're staying in the moment, we're enjoying the people who are around us, we're being intentional about what we allow to come into our space, what we allow to impact our mental health, and we're setting really strong boundaries. And so one of the ways that you can practice mindful living is through meditation or through devotion. So it depends on which one you do. I personally am a Christian, so I have my devotion in the mornings as part of my morning routine. And this really helps to set me up for the day, to help to get me in a positive state of mind, and to just really slow down and enjoy the life that I am living. So that is tip number 2, mindful living. Tip number 3 is to build meaningful connections. And having really strong interpersonal relationships are so important in our lives because it helps to build a sense of community. We were meant to be part of community. We're not meant to be isolated and be alone. And so it's important that we're cultivating those strong relationships. We don't need to have a bag of friends. That is not what I'm telling you. You don't need to have a whole circle of people around you, but taking the time and being intentional about just cultivating 1 or 2 strong relationships is going to be crucial to helping you live a life of contentment. And again, with the research, but research shows that people who have strong relationships have stronger self-esteem, have more confidence, because you have people in your life who are cheering you on and celebrating who you are, and that's going to help to build your confidence and help to just enhance your self-awareness, especially when they keep it real and tell you the truth about yourself like my friends do. They keep it real with me, and so it helps me to be aware of the person that I'm developing and making sure that I am just being a good person and being a good friend to them. Having those really strong relationships and connections also help you to have a stronger mental health. When you have people that you know that you can depend on, it increases your happiness, it increases your sense of belonging. Additionally, this could lead to more personal growth, a greater sense of empathy, and just overall a more fulfilling life. So that was strategy number 3, building strong, meaningful connections. Strategy number 4 is to set realistic goals. Now, we all have goals. We all have things in life that we want to achieve, whether or not we call them goals, intentions, resolutions, hopes, dreams. There are things in life that we all want. And in order to achieve those things, it is important that we are setting ourselves up to be successful by setting goals and breaking them down into achievable and realistic steps. And so when we're setting goals and making them realistic, they're more likely to be attainable. We're more likely to achieve those things. And one way that we do that is to really break down that big goal into smaller actionable steps that you can take. And every month, every week, you're looking at those action steps and refining them to ensure that you're staying on track. And a huge benefit of setting these realistic goals and achieving them is that it boosts our self-esteem, it boosts our morale, and helps us to be more proactive. And so when we're seeing that we're achieving our goals and killing it, as people say, then we're more likely to just continue along that path and more likely to feel successful and just be more content with the life that we're living. So setting those realistic goals is a critical part of curating a life of contentment. The next strategy is to embrace continuous learning. This means that we're developing a growth mindset, seeking opportunities to increase our knowledge. We're working and investing on building our skills, both personally and professionally. It also helps us to be able to adapt to new challenges. It helps us to have a more positive outlook on life and helps us to feel successful. Overall, embracing continuous learning helps us to navigate changes easier. It helps us to stay productive and just brings a sense of fulfillment in our lives because we are evolving, we're growing and gaining knowledge. And so one of the ways that you can do this is to enroll in online classes. I have used Skillshare before. This is not sponsored, but Skillshare, if you're out there, hello. So Skillshare is a platform with tons of experts in their fields and they offer online courses. And I recently took one about using AI to help with content creation. I also have taken a photography class on Skillshare, and it's just a really great platform for finding different experts. And so whatever area you want to, learn or increase your knowledge in, that is just one way of doing that. You can also enroll in college classes if that is something that you're interested in, or learn a skill in something else. But whatever it is that you are interested in, there are tons of opportunities out there for you to aid in your personal and professional development. So make sure that that is something that you've added onto your list. Next strategy is to practice self-care. And this is also one of the things that is super important to me in ensuring that I am living a life of contentment. Now, it is very easy to get caught up in everything that is happening in the world. Life is busy, you have work, you have responsibilities, and it's very easy to forget about taking care of yourself. But one of the analogies that I personally love is, when you get on the airplane and they go through that whole spiel about if the plane loses oxygen and the oxygen mask comes down, you need to make sure that you are good before you can help others. So they encourage you to put on the oxygen mask on yourself, ensure that you are breathing properly, and then go help other people. It's the analogy that I apply to my life. And so if I'm not in a good place, I have nothing to give to others and to help others. So by practicing self-care, I am prioritizing my mental health and my physical health so that I am 100% able to support and love on others in my life. So practicing self-care is something that I believe we need to put at the forefront of our minds in 2024. So whether that is going for a walk, journaling, taking time to get a facial, getting a mani-pedi, whatever it is that is important to you and helps to rejuvenate your soul, that is what you need to be doing. Making sure that you are intentional about the time that you're taking to take care of yourself. Research, again, because I'm really into this research business, research shows that by practicing self-care and prioritizing self-care, it increases our resilience to the challenges of life, it boosts our serotonin, and it reduces stress. It helps us to reflect and refine the things in our lives. It helps us to practice gratitude. It helps us to sleep better. There are just so many benefits that are attributed to prioritizing self-care. And Ultimately, prioritizing self-care is an investment in your long-term mental and physical well-being. And who doesn't want that? So make sure that you're doing the things this year to prioritize yourself and your well-being. Strategy number 7 is to simplify and declutter. Now, this is something that I have had on my to-do list for a very long time, and I'm slowly working through it, but I realized that when my space is cluttered, my physical space is cluttered, my mental space is cluttered, I am less inclined to be motivated. It feels overwhelming. It just creates a sense of stress within me. And so I've been very intentional about decluttering my space, like especially the clothes and the shoes. I have way too much and those have to go. So decluttering and simplifying your life really helps to reduce stress. It helps to improve your overall focus, clearing out all of the things that are taking up space, unnecessary space in your life. It helps you to focus on the things that really matter. It helps you to appreciate the things that you have because you're able to see them. If you go into your closet and you have a ton of clothes and a ton of shoes, trust me, as someone who finds it challenging sometimes to remember what I have, it just makes it harder for me to get dressed sometimes. So I realized that by taking out some of that clutter, I'm able to really focus on the things that I love, and I'm able to wear them more and be more creative and authentic to my fashion sense. And so let's go ahead this year, get rid of all the things that are taking up unnecessary space in your closet and in your life. We know that decluttering can create a sense of calm, it reduces stress, and it leads to a more organized and visually appealing space. And so this year, my challenge to you is to get rid of all the things that serve no purpose in your life, in your home. Go through all of your space, make a plan to declutter. You don't want to do everything at once because it can feel very overwhelming, and that's not what we want. We don't want to create things that are going to overwhelm us. We want to create habits that are going to help us to feel good and to live a life of contentment. So make a plan, declutter a small space one day at a time, or declutter 5 items of clothing in one day, or declutter one drawer. Whatever it is that you're doing, just really break down that goal into something realistic and attainable, and you'll be able to achieve it. But we want to declutter our spaces to make room for more positive feelings and contentment. So the next strategy is to practice mindful consumption, whether it be media, information, or food. Mindful consumption is important for several reasons. It helps us to reduce stress. It helps us to be intentional about our decision-making practices, and it helps us to be aware of our environment and our practices and the things that we're putting out into the environment. Additionally, it helps us to be more mindful and appreciative of what we have, and it helps us to not make impulsive decisions and to just introduce unnecessary things into our lives. Overall, practicing mindful consumption contributes to a more fulfilling, responsible, and thoughtful way of living. So this could mean limiting your screen time, being mindful of just scrolling mindlessly on social media like TikTok. For me, I recently downloaded TikTok, and I honestly, besides wanting to build my platform on there, I have to be really careful about how much time I'm spending on TikTok, because it is a rabbit hole that you can go down in, and I don't need that. I need to use my time wisely. So just being mindful of just how much time you're spending on social media and using that time in a more efficient or beneficial way, that's going to help to make your life better. The next strategy is to embrace flexibility. And that means being aware that not everything is going to go the way that you plan them. Not every day is going to be Christmas, right? There are days when things are not going to go well, and that's okay. And so by practicing and embracing flexibility, you're able to adapt quickly to changes. You're going to have a more positive mindset when you know that, listen, life isn't always perfect, and then you know what you need to do to help yourself to navigate those changes or less than desirable outcomes. So being adaptable, flexible, we're able to find those creative solutions in the face of challenges. The final strategy is giving back to others. When we regularly engage in acts of kindness, it has a ripple effect, not only on the person we're helping by improving their well-being and improving their situation in life, but it also helps to promote within us a sense of fulfillment and helps us to make connections to others. We're making real connections with people that are heartfelt, and we're able to just overall increase or improve our mental state. I know that when I do things that are kind for others, I end up feeling so much better about my day, and it just makes me feel like I am doing something that is positively impacting the world and contributing to goodness. And that is just a really amazing feeling. It also helps me to appreciate the things that I have, and knowing that I have a little bit extra, whether it's my time, my finances, or just like material things that I'm able to give to someone else, and it's going to help to improve their life. That could look like volunteering your time or your skills to a cause that you support, and it is going to definitely make such a difference in your life. All right, my beautiful people, those are the tips and strategies that I have put in place in my life and wanted to share with you so that you can also curate a life of contentment. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And please remember that this is a journey, right? We are on this journey of curating a life of contentment, and it takes time. So if you are consistently implementing these strategies, you will see a huge change in your overall perspective and your life. Until next time, stay positive and keep curating that life of contentment. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!